Nu ett unikt framträdande här i Söndagsöppet. Hon är en levande legend, Rickie Lee Jones. Älskad och dyrkad över hela världen. Hon ger sällan, eller snarare aldrig, några intervjuer. Och att se henne spela live, ja, det sägs vara en ynnest. Jag har den stora glädjen att bjuda er på både och i dagens Söndagsöppet. Välkomna Rickie Lee Jones.
Gypsy boy came up to you with a newspaper spread across his arm to hide his fingers in your pocket. Meanwhile, in another part of the town, I buy a ticket for a train. Smoking Legitan is riding down my name. Whoa. A little mystery, little mystery, yeah. Little mystery, little mystery. In a simple twist of fate, a trail of life leads you to Orlando, but we are days too late for the certain brother down in Florida, famous for his cane. The boys came over from Texas and they said, we're here to take everything we can. Little mystery, little mystery, yeah. Little mystery, little mystery. Nobody wants to see. 4 years later, another cemetery hits the ground. This tiny boys make sure that his wife is with him when he goes down. To the third door down the hall, down the hall. Little mystery,
Hello. Hello, and welcome.
Thank you.
Have a seat, please. You want to wear your cap or hat?
I brought my hat.
Yeah. I usually wear a hat too. Why is it important to you to have one?
Because, you know, it's an attitude, I guess. And because I look kind of good in this hat, so I'm going to put it on.
Has it always been important with an attitude?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's also when you work, you know, you put on a uniform, some kind of uniform, and gets you ready for your job. So my little hat, you know, because I don't think I wore a hat for 5 years or 10 years. So it makes me feel part of the world. I'm optimistic enough to buy a hat.
You've sometimes described playing your old songs is like walking into a room and you know where everything is placed in the room.
That's a good description.
Yeah.
Glad I said that.
It's a very good saying. So then you've done a lot of covers as well, and every time you do a song like Autumn Leaf or Bye Bye Blackbird, you make it your own. Is that then sort of like walking into someone else's room and decorating it?
It's still my room. You know, I was thinking when you said that of Frank Sinatra, because that's kind of my idol as a singer. And when he worked in the 30s and 40s and 50s, it didn't matter who wrote the song. That was quite incidental. There was this singer that was bringing the truth of his emotion to you. And so it doesn't matter to me at all if I wrote it or someone else wrote it. It's just as real to me what I experience when I sing a song, because you're carried away by the melody.
And you're furnishing it your own way.
I suppose so, yeah. So it's like it couldn't not be mine. If I sing it, I'm going to experience. I'll make it as rich as I possibly can. That's what I like to do.
How did you find your own way? Has it always been like that? Has it been so natural for you to do your own thing, or was it sort of a path and you had a map and you?
Well, I always had a weird voice and I always sang. But I would say around 18 or 19, I knew I wanted to be a singer, but I didn't have any good songs, and I didn't have any idea how to write a good song. Everything I sat down to write was really depressing and not very good. And so I taught myself by really studying songs I liked and what was great about them, what was funny about them, what was the rhythm. And the first song I wrote that was any good was Easy Money. And I completely imagined what it was like to live in Hollywood and be somebody else. None of the things in the song ever happened to me, but surely I must have observed it. And so I found my voice by writing fiction, that when I wrote about totally imaginary characters, because I've always had imaginary friends anyway, so as it turned out, that was what I knew how to do instinctively.
But a lot of the characters in your songs are also real people during the years.
You know, they're not once they get in the songs.
Okay, so then they change.
Yeah, I dress them up and make them more interesting than they might be, kinder, simpler for the text. Yeah.
Can I ask you perhaps a weird question?
I don't know.
Peg Leg Jones, your grandfather.
Yes, Peg Leg Jones.
Yeah, he only had one leg and he was a vaudeville person.
Dancer, he was a vaudeville dancer.
With one leg?
Yeah.
How did that work?
I didn't get to see him, so I don't know, but he received amazing notices. They would, you know, because in vaudeville, they traveled around maybe 8 acts. So you'd pay your money and you get to sit all night and watch 8 different acts. And they were probably on stage 20 minutes each. That's what I'm thinking. And his notices, you know, he would be the rave of the entire evening.
I bet.
And they would say, and also the way the critics wrote then was so distinguished, and they pulled no punches, you know, they just annihilated people. And they said, in what was otherwise a dismal evening, a mediocre evening at best, Peg Leg Jones resounds as something worth going to see. Or they would say, a wonderful show, Daisy and her dogs and the tap dancer. But the highlight of the evening is a monoped who makes most two-legged dancers look like, you know, nothing. And so I thought he must have been really amazing. he would get in costume, he played ukulele, and he played songs like Up the Lazy River, which ended up on mine, Bye Bye Blackbird, Sunny Side of the Street. Songs my dad taught me that later I learned my grandfather had done in his show.
So in some way he has been an inspiration to you.
I think so, yeah.
It's definitely a thing that sparks off my imagination.
I
like the thought of that one-legged man who, you know, dances.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
And I think he was really big in vaudeville, and then movies came. And he did move out to Hollywood, but I think that, you know, his act did not translate into the new world of movies, so he died alone, I think, a hard way.
The hat is off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, nice having you.
Thank you.